Because I was supposed to be dramatic, but anyway, welcome to the 2024 season of On the Table, episode 1, and a whole lot that is coming up this year because we have to bring entertainment to entertainment, right? That's what I'm here for. Thank you for joining me. My name is Chimweka, or simply Chimweka. I'm looking forward to a lot this season as you interact with me, where you're watching from, who do you want to see next, and all of that. Let's have a great year this year, even better than what we had last year, because last year was good. But so is today's episode. I'll be joined by Alpha Romeo. It was quite difficult to get Alpha Romeo to come through on the show, but I had to use some mingalato here and there. And finally, he's here. We'll talk about a lot. He's lost friends in the music business to death and also other issues, personal issues, and hopefully he can share with us what had happened. But a lot of stories that he can tell with his experience, why he's been quiet, and many more. And he joins me on the show today. I've got a lot to talk about, so let's just end this introduction right now and take a look at what to expect on the show today.
Amnasi like mwe PJ ana vanamshikira kumozi na career yanu and whatnot. Now that he's gone, everyone is busy around contributing to my monies, putting to my pledges and sharing. Write my name. Like, say, you've seen the money, write my name. No.
You thought to make money while you're at your peak. What's that about?
Since I couldn't go with New Age, never fun, New Age, and I couldn't go to KMP. So there was nothing left for me.
When you were at your peak as Alpha Romeo, what would you say are some of your regrets?
Associated with some people who knew a lot about music, but they didn't want me to know at that particular time.
Are you talking about KB?
So
that's what you can look out for on today's edition. But let's get straight into it as I interact with my guest who's got over a decade worth of experience as far as the mainstream music business is concerned. He recently featured on a song alongside Rough Kid, Young K, and Jay Swagger titled Barinama Jealous. Let's take a brief look at this music video before we interact with our guest.
I'm the shit monga ni pitra trini manja yali jet but tumba ili clean is a street in a pampamo we never ride solo pose timangene kolo pokumba mi follow monga Romeo uzakafa na chikonkwe senishi kuno vifendela patoko 10 years plus but we still going harder tisha ina monga police.
So that's the song Barinama Jealous that has my guest who's joining me right now. Allow me to welcome the one and only Alpha Romeo. Self drum roll. Welcome, my brother. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
We've met earlier this year, but for the sake of the camera, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, my brother. How are you doing?
It's been a while. I think a lot of people have been wondering, oh my goodness, where has Alpha Romeo been? When I was telling the team, like, we're having Alpha Romeo, like, Alpha Romeo.
It's around.
What's going on? Yeah. But I mean, you've got this song out, I'm Jealous. What was it like putting this song together?
Well, simple. It's reality music. So I feel like reality music is the simplest to make.
Yeah.
You just get what is already on the ground and, come up with something, the melody and, us being hip hop artists, I think it's good for the industry.
Yeah. So is it safe to say that it was based on a true story?
Yeah, it was based on a true story. It's a day-to-day life situation. So it wasn't as hard to put up. You just needed to find the right people to jump on the song and the right producer as well. Yeah.
So when you say Barinama Jealous, Barinama Jealous.
Everyone, over simple things, Wachitaka move so other people don't like it. Wapulinga kwa move kaso, watambika kwa TV, other people don't like it, and as a country, we can't move forward like that. So, I'm kind of jealous.
By the way, I don't know what's up with you artists. We had to censor your verse on our own because I know you rappers get carried away and you're gonna drop some S words, some F words sometimes if you like.
Yeah.
And then now we have to do that for you guys. What's up with that?
You know,
What happened to radio versions? And you grew up in the era where obviously there was all that. You had to make sure everything's clean for radio, for TV.
Yeah.
Now you guys just don't care anymore.
You know, I feel like hip hop is all about expressing yourself. So when you remove some of these things, you know, censoring, you know. So I feel like hip hop is all about expressing yourself, and that if you feel like saying that at that particular time, you just say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the few times I've met you, it's either you're with Ruff or you were with Ruff earlier in the day. You guys seem to be closer now. What's your relationship with Ruff Kid like at the moment?
I've always been close to Ruff.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the time I started my journey of music, I've always been close. And by the way, me and Ruff have stayed in the same house before, way back when I was just coming up.
So was it in his house or in your house?
No, his house.
In his
I was
house.
young. I was coming from my parents' house,
Yeah.
and I stayed with him in his house.
For like how long? How long approximately?
Not too long, maybe 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's still a long time. So your relationship with him goes back then.
Yeah, it's always been like that, but then we're on different journeys. You understand? So sometimes as a chita, you go his own way, you do whatever, but we still communicate. That song is dope. We should link up. We should do what? But I feel like now our relationship is more solid because we've been working on a lot of projects. You understand? So we need to link up time to time because of the works that we're trying to put up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it like also having that relationship with Ruff? I mean, you've got that background, but then when you guys were in the mainstream business, I know you also did a record together. What song was
Evidence.
that? That was Evidence. Huh?
Evidence, yeah.
Yeah. And it's sad because you got a call just before we started of some sad news around the producer of Evidence, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. My brother, the one that produced that song, just passed today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so somebody just called me to say, your boy is gone, bro. So it's very sad to hear that my boy Biggie Bang is gone. You know, we're going to miss you, and I don't know, man.
That's sad. May so rest in peace. I think by the time this show is airing, you probably would have been put to rest by then. But I was just trying to find out your relationship with Ruff Kid at the time when obviously he had XYZ going on. You with K-Army, Young Energy Movement and all of that. How did you also manage to, did you even manage to maintain a relationship while both of you were mainstream and at your
to maintain my relationship with Ruff? Yeah, because most of the people that I used to hang out with at that particular time came from the same group, XYZ. Yeah. Lloyd D was my best friend at the time. We came from the same hood. You know, it was XYZ. Johnny C, my boy. You know, may he so rest in peace. I rode with PJ for the longest time.
Definitely.
And was also part of the team. You understand? So it wasn't hard because even when I was rolling with these guys, Ruff was there, but I had other relationships apart from Ruff. Yeah, like Lloyd D was my best friend, and we used to hang out with me, Lloyd D, Johnny C, you know.
Speaking of friendships, obviously I know there's talk about PJ and let's talk about Johnny C. It's very unfortunate that they're both late.
Yeah.
How does that even make you feel? I mean, these are people that you were hanging out with like on a daily basis. You'd spend hours together. I haven't lost someone like that yet, where you chill with them every day and then you lose them to death.
Yeah.
How did you manage to handle that?
It's been crazy, bro. It's been crazy because when PJ died, it was hard, but then we had each other, like with me, with Johnny C, like with the closest people that we used to hang out with at that particular time. we had each other's back. So it was hard, but we managed to pull through, and we just wanted everyone, including the family, to just, move on with this. God's time, we can't do anything about it, we can't reverse it, but it hasn't been an easy journey.
Let's start with, before we get into detail with PJ, let's start with Johnny C. Obviously, he died more recently. For some people, it hasn't been clear why exactly he died. Was he sick? What happened?
From my knowledge, he wasn't sick. And we talked about it. We talked about a lot of things, I think 2 weeks before he passed. I had him on camera. We talked about a lot of things. I was doing some sort of a documentary, so I had him on a camera for like 2 weeks in a row. Every day I used to link up with him and just shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting. And for me, the time that I was going to Mozambique, and he told me that he wanted to follow. Then there was another show that he was supposed to do. I was supposed to do it, but then I was like, since I'm going out, let Johnny C do it. Yeah, and those people accepted, but he still insisted that he wanted to follow. I refused for him. So when I went, the same day I came back is the same day they called me to say, someone called me to say, mwebanangenera mu nyumba, sitinabaone kuchoka, but dyonse tumabaona. So I was like, how come? Okay, why can't you open the door and check what is happening? Once I come, but open. So I was in Matero at that time. I think it was around 16. So I moved from Matero, went to the house, went to open the house. I just found him lying down on the bed, gone already. So when we went to the hospital, they told me, they said, I think he passed maybe a day ago. So it was crazy. And what was too sad was, even before we reached the hospital, some people had already posted RIP and whatnot. So like, we're taking this guy to the hospital. Who's writing RIP? Like, what's the agenda here? I felt bad, and I can't mention anyone, but I just felt bad because all people cared for at that particular time were numbers. They wanted numbers on Facebook. Oh, I was the first one, so people are going to see it from me. My fan page is going to grow, but it was sad for some of us.
So what's your understanding? Do you think he took his own life, or he overdosed on something? Was maybe an alcohol problem, a drug problem?
I wouldn't say what the problem was. I feel like, he was in his own space for a long time. By the way, I stayed with him I think he's the only one that I've stayed with the longest. I think we stayed for 5 years or so in the same house. So the time that he started staying on his own, I haven't really been keeping track on what was going on with his life. I'll check him time to time, but I wasn't that consistent, so I wouldn't tell.
So at the time of his death, you're no longer best friends as you were before?
No, we were.
You were, okay.
We were, yeah, we were. Except, now, like I said, responsibilities, age also is catching up. So we couldn't just link up the way we used to link up, and we couldn't do things the way we used to do when we were staying in the same house.
What do you make of the support he got after it was known that he had passed on from the industry, compared to in his last few moments?
Us artists have a lot of things that we can't say on media, because some people will just take it, to the media, and others will start making fun of you, and, it will frustrate you at the end of the day. You understand? So He was living his life, but I feel like the same support they showed when he passed was supposed to be the same support that they were supposed to show him, because Johnny C was a good artist. That won't take away from him. He was a good artist. The only thing he needed was support. You understand? He had a bunch of music recorded already, you know. He had people who he can just call and say, yo, I have a song, I want to shoot a video, I don't have money, I want to do what. They can do that for him. You understand? But nobody came on board to say, okay, we can help you like this, we can help you like this. They can see you on TV, they know to say, okay, something is missing about this person, but everyone is just like, Vizamkanga, you know, Vizamkanga, Vizamkanga. That's what they want. But now that it's gone, everyone is busy around contributing to my monies, putting to my pledges, and Shani, write my name. Like, say, you've seen the money, write my name. No. That same monies you are putting up was supposed to be there even before he passed. You understand? Because that's where the support was supposed to start from, because he wasn't just a work artist. He was a good artist, and with good support, I think it was going to be big. Maybe he wouldn't have found himself in that situation even. So.
Let's talk about PJ now as
Yeah.
well. First of all, when the time you got the news, what was your headspace like at the time you got the news that PJ died?
First of all, we're supposed to go together to the Copper Belt for a show. And then we went out with Johnny C. With him, we dropped him off, then we went out after we dropped him off. So he left and wrote a message to say, you guys, you switched off your phones, so me, I've gone, you follow me behind. But then he had another show that he was supposed to do, so after we communicated, I was like, you're already killing it that side. So me, let me cover for you this side. You understand? That's how come we didn't go together. And after the accident, we thought it was just, you know, an accident. UTH, they were treating him. We started talking, planning on the things that we're going to do when he's out of the hospital. His show was supposed to be at East Point. The first show was supposed to be at East Point. So we planned about a lot of things, and the day before he passed, he said he should come early as early as 6, he should be here. So again, we went out, because that time we were like party freaks with my friends and whatnot. So we went out, slept late. The time I woke up, I was switching on my phone. It just called me crying, and I couldn't believe it. I cried. I couldn't tell Johnny C about it.
Who called you crying?
The madam.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, I couldn't tell Johnny C about it until I told him, okay, let's go to the hospital. When he switched off on his phone, it was all over media. He broke down, bro. So it was crazy. Like, it wasn't easy. You know, the person that you hang out with on a daily basis, you know that I did not believe until I saw him, you know, in the coffin. That's when I believed to say this is happening. You know, for the longest time, I've never believed that he's gone. You know, sometimes that thing and phone waituma kwa yankamfana wake wada, I forgot. You know, so it hasn't been easy, but at the end of the day, we had to move on, bro. We had to move on.
So who was picking up his phone after that? Was it Ben?
No, the young sister, Betha.
Oh, okay, Beth. Oh, yeah. Who's now in the US, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, at that particular time, I think she was working with some TV station, movie. Yeah.
So she was picking up the calls that would come.
Yeah, but I think she was using the phone to communicate with, because she never had a lot of his friends' numbers.
Oh, okay.
So she was using that phone to communicate with everyone. Yeah.
Would you agree that your career died with PJ?
No, PJ contributed a lot to my music career, and I'll forever be grateful, you know. We made a lot of songs. Some of them never came out, but a few that came out were all bangers, you know. But even that, I had songs like We Were Younger, I had songs like President, Rumor, Bus Driver, you understand. I had the song with Biflo, Always a Time, you know, Ndetasha. So PJ kind of jump-starts my career when we did Life Here New. You get, so for that I'll forever be grateful, because PJ was not just a person I would call when I want a song or I want a chorus. Someone that would communicate with me or would communicate with him over a lot of different things. Yo, let's hang out. Oh, I have this pressure. Can you do this for me? Can you go to mom's house and do what? You understand? So my relationship with him went beyond music. You understand? That's why even up to now, I still write songs about him. I still write letters about him or to him. You understand? So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have had hit songs together and so on, but why others would feel that way is, I mean, it was shortly after his demise that people said seeing the Alpha Romeo brand not happening the way it used to happen before. So would you just say it was coincidence, or he played a major role? That, I mean, you guys were found with him almost all the time.
Yeah, he played a very major, very big role in my career. But even after he passed, you know, I had songs like Where Have You Been?
Yeah, of course.
Huge song. I had songs like We Wrote a Letter for him. We had songs like Bayawe, Sininga Bweze. So from that time, we've had a lot of songs. Mwatio Nako, you know. And me, I'm a hip-hop artist. PJ wasn't a hip-hop artist. So when I needed that kind of vibe, he gave it to me. You understand? But beside that, I still have my own songs like Mwatio Nako. I still have my songs like Bayawe, Where Have You Been? You know. These are big songs, and this was after PJ passed.
But would you agree that there are other careers that have died with PJ's?
A lot, because PJ used to write a lot of songs for a lot of people, and he used to feature on a lot of songs. You understand? So I feel like some careers died because PJ was no longer there to feature on their songs. PJ was no longer there to write their songs. So yeah, I'd agree.
Let's take a break. I think we've talked a lot about the people that we've lost. But let's also talk about all things Alpha Romeo and the year 2024, because we're just the beginning of the year and we're expecting a lot from him. So we'll just take a water break. The water has just come through now. So just drink some water and we'll be back with Alpha Romeo. Welcome back. Still watching On the Table. My guest is Alpha Romeo. By the way, the name Alpha Romeo, where did it come? Was it a car? There's a car. There's a car Alpha Romeo, is it? What is it?
Yeah, there's a car Alpha Romeo, but the spelling is different.
Yeah, it's ALFA, right?
Yeah. Mine is ALPHA.
Yeah.
So Alpha means beginning, and Romeo comes from my real name, which is Bartholomew.
Oh.
Bartholomew. But my English teacher, when I was in grade 8 and 9, he used to call me Bartholomew. So my friends who couldn't pronounce that started just saying Romeo.
Was he or she? The teacher?
Was a he.
So was he an English teacher or teacher of English?
He was a teacher of English.
That was a very common one from back in the day. So a teacher from England, from Britain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we touched on a number of issues before the break.
Yeah.
And how, you know, your relationships with artists, even PJ after his demise.
Yeah.
So you said I mean, and you're right about it, because after he passed on, you also had a number of hit songs out there.
Yeah, but still, I was affected. My career was a little bit affected because I couldn't do a song minus mentioning him, because I felt like we are headed somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, we even wanted to do an album together. Yeah.
So with that said, it's undeniable that at some point Alpha Romeo just went quiet.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
the big question. So what caused the silence? What happened that seemingly slowed Alpha Romeo down musically?
It's a phase. It's a phase. You know, responsibilities, and sometimes looking at where we're coming from, you know, we've lost people and we've been through a lot of things. So I just thought it would be great if I go a little bit quiet and just reflect on my life, you know, because after PJ's death, I kind of realized a lot of things to say, oh, so people die, like, for real. You understand? So I had to sit back a little, watch the industry from afar, and just reflect on my life. And a lot of things was said. When I see la,
And I was about to come to that, because did you get also some sort of pressure to make a comeback, and hearing all
Yeah.
these comments where people would come to you and say, Alpha Romeo, ever since PJ died, your career died. Do not see that. Alpha
some
Romeo.
fans, you know, would put pressure, and some haters will always come to your inbox or to your statuses to say, I'm not see like my PJ and vanamshikira kumozi na career yanu and whatnot. They'll say a lot of things, but I needed to hear those comments at that particular time, because that kind of gave me you know, something to talk about first off, and it also showed me to say people will always like you as long as you're doing things that benefits them or what they want you to do. You understand? But they do not know that even me as an artist, I have a private life. I have problems. I have family problems, you know. Sometimes I can't write because, you know, I have a family problem. Sometimes my young brother will be in a pressure. I can't write music. I need to sort out. Some people in my family will be sick. You can't just start writing music and be on radio and TV when you have these pressures. So I needed to sit back and just listen to all of this. This is where have you been? I said a lot of things. PJ peana fera zinasiyolila sininga kambe vonse vinangu vili personal. Mariu fans bazibati siyenze intentional. Vakakufunsa futi uba uze na bwerera. Ngati ni vakali vaningenere munjila. You understand? Yeah. So that kind of gave me the power and the strength to just come back and talk about these things. Not only for me, because nimaona wenangu bazakamba paliwe na chameleon, imwe vanasira, but they don't know why those people are not putting out music at that particular time. You know, the voices always be there because it's your talent. You understand? The voice will always be there. The content will always be there, but fans do not understand why someone is not doing what they are doing or what they are supposed to be doing at that particular time, because they can know everything about your personal life. Same as your dwala. So zabwera kuno. It's a stinga mboka but Chimweka wanasira wanareko bwana pa TV. Swazi bakai. Maybe what if your wife is sick or your child is sick?
Yeah.
You understand? So
but even as you were sitting back and reflecting, did you at any point regret, like, I shouldn't have taken that decision, I should have just kept going? Because I mean, there's so many artists, even from your peers in the music industry. Some of them are still active today. Some of them have found you in the game.
Yeah.
And they're still active today. So why haven't you been as active as your peers and your colleagues have been, who you started out with or came after you?
Some of them are still active. Some of them are not active. You understand? It's life. We don't live the same life. Kapena kwao balibema pressure, you know. Kapena kwao balibema pressure. Maybe they have something that moves them or that motivates them. And my kind of music is not music yeuza ukachat. Lero nibachosereko mafans vanga. No, I have to sit down, think about what I'm going to talk about, because my music is based on reality. You understand? I'm a straight hip hop artist, and my music is based on reality. So sininga uke chat, iwe pangach biti vazivina mabao mtichtimbe tinga. We can manage to do that kind of music, but that's not my music. So I love to take my time and be watch to understand what it. And so to understand, so
What would you say are some of your regrets when you look back when you were at your peak as Alpha Romeo? What would you say are some of your regrets?
I associated with people, associated with some people who knew a lot about music, but they didn't want me to know at that particular time. So that's my biggest regret. Yeah.
But how did you know that they knew so much about
I've grown. So now I know, oh, that's why we behave so and so Z. You understand? Because I've grown and I've known. But if what I know now, I knew it back then, I think I'll be on a different level or journey.
With what you said, are you talking about KB?
I don't know. You decide on your own if it's KB or if it's someone else. But I feel like I associated with a lot of people who wanted me to revamp their careers, but then they didn't want the same for me. So they hid a lot of information that was supposed to be very necessary or vital to me.
What kind of information are you talking about? Like what kind of...
If I'm streaming, you know, sometimes you won't know why you're not on this show, why these people are not putting you on this show, you understand? But then, now that I've grown, I've learned and I've analyzed everything to say, oh, that's why it's Ninzepo, so that's why it's Ninzepo and
But have you understood why you'd be left out or would not be given that kind of information?
Yeah, I've come to understand. You know, not everyone will like you, one. And in the industry, we are all fighting for the same thing. But the saddest thing is your own people shouldn't be the one to bring you down.
Because I mean, I feel like there's different reasons. So maybe, do you think maybe it's because you're not financially viable at the time? Maybe you're not the best brand to put on board. Maybe that person knew you personally and you had a good relationship, but
Chimweka,
money-wise, it was a different story.
You know, someone will know to say, they are supposed to get you, fix what they need to fix so that you and that person benefits, right? Yeah.
But maybe some things, I mean, I know some people who are very, very, I mean, even from the neighborhood I come from, there's some people I know that are very, very talented and so on.
Yeah.
But
if you had your way,
exactly.
Wouldn't you like to help such talent?
But even you can agree that there's some people whereby you think it's fixable, but it's not. At least if it's going to be very, very difficult for you to fix those things.
If it's
do you
not,
force yourself into fixing those things?
No, if it's not
Alpha Romeo will fix it?
No, if it's not fixable, at the end of the day, there's no blame game. We all have different journeys, especially in the industry, but then your own people shouldn't be, they need to educate you about certain things so that you understand how valuable you can be if everything was done according to plan.
I can tell it back to you because I know that you go way back. We can throw it back to as far as the no intro days.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a number of young artists that you worked with, people that, some that we don't even know, but you worked with them. They can argue the same thing that Alpha Romeo was at its peak at some point. He never put us on like he should. So he didn't want to share with us valuable information. He didn't want to fix us when what we need to be fixed on.
Believe me, I put everyone on that was supposed to be put on. And when I say that, I mean, when I put you on, I know that you have, I might know your plug or your other people behind you, but when I put you on, I know that you're going to put them on also.
So you're saying you absolutely put everybody you need to put on at
everyone
that
I know, everyone that I cared about, everyone who was talented that was in my circle, I put them on.
So, even with no intro, so it was you, Bobby East, JOB.
Yeah. It was Bobby East studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your involvement? Were you just like a rapper? What
I was
your
just a rapper. I had the best friend who used to produce a lot of music in our hood. Chunga. And, you know, when Bobby opened the studio with GOB and the cousin to Bobby, and there were a bunch of other people, you know. So I saw and I knew to say, okay, Abaveva Chita, I think that's me. And I think I was the only person who was doing Nyanja at that particular time before my other brother Tonix came through, you know. So zorapa mchizungsetero zorapa mchinyanja, you know. So on that one, I'll say Bobby put us on, kuno intro. It was a teamwork, but he put us on because it was his studio, it was his space, you know, and his father sacrificed a space for us to be recording from, because fans of Funat is enda kumaba and doing all sorts of things. So they gave us that space. And I forever appreciate Bobby East for that, and the father.
So, I mean, way after the no intro days,
Yeah.
also the young energy movement.
Yeah.
Even just if it was history, I would have asked you, please explain the rise and fall of the Mwenemtapa Kingdom. But I'll ask you, explain the rise and fall of young energy movement.
So I got signed to KAMI, and one of the asks, if I would say so, some things that a favor that I needed from KAMI was, okay, if you're gonna sign me, I have my brothers who've been making this music for me from the hood. So I think it would be great if they would also come on board. You understand? But then KB agreed to that. But when I took back the news, they also had a different way of doing things, because they thought, now no intro is gonna die because we're gonna give all our talent or all what we have to another record label. You understand? So
So you're saying who wasn't comfortable with that? Bobby and them?
Bobby and
JOB.
because they wanted to maintain no intro's name.
Okay, I see.
And they thought it was a bad idea, because if they moved to another record label, that means there will be no one
yeah.
to put that no intro studio on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. So I started working with KAMI now. And after a couple of songs, there were people in the hood. Bobby and J.O. went to Ben Blazer. You remember?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so no intro wasn't that active at that particular time. And had a lot of people from the hood who wanted the same thing. We had the same dream from the hood. Yeah. So I thought it would be great if we put them on. TAP, I think Brisk was the first artist that I ever put in Young Energy. TAP came through. TAP was the second artist that I put on. So how Young Energy came up was, KB didn't like most of these artists. You know, we are working, we are I miss a beat, achita bwanji, you know.
Munga slap.
Vijavaso. No, even me, Enzo Kamba Nveka wonga slap. But then I take a backup Judy and Kambirako, Stan, you remember the gospel artist? So I think it's a dope artist.
It's Stan the industry.
Yeah, you know. Those were the people who were there when I was being signed at KAMI.
So they had to talk to KB like, put him on, and then KB finally put you on.
We were discussing in the studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I said,
okay.
I think give him a chance. And he gave me a beat. Then I recorded President on the same beat. Same day. Yeah. And you know, KB is an R&B producer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't easy for him to start working with a hip-hop artist like me. Yeah, because all I wanted was to do hip-hop. I didn't care about these other genres. So that's what happened. But then when I wanted to I went to KB and said, I think you should sign this guy. He's dope, because I grew up with TAP. TAP is my childhood friend.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we same class, same desk, I think from grade 1 to 7. Yeah. So when he was looking for me, he came to the studio. He's been coming to the studio, but I wasn't around. Like, I wasn't found at the studio most of the time. So when he found me, we talked, you know, about the good old days and whatnot. And then I told KB to sign him. Then KB refused to sign him because I think he said he was missing the beat. He wasn't on point with the beat. So, you know. So with time, I thought it's going to be difficult for me to convince this person to put these niggas on. Yeah, so I decided to make Young Energy Movement, and I told KB, I'm going to make my own group, Young Energy Movement, with the help of Biflo. I think Biflo helped me to come up with that name. Yeah. We're going to make this group, Young Energy Movement. But the artist be umakana iwe. David Zambo Fakam group. Yeah. So we brought in TAP. Shefi came in because Shefi was TAP's friend. So as I was hanging out with TAP, we linked up with Chef and we talked, and then we recorded a song. But KB refused to say it's sounding like Makito. And for me, I'm not looking at a copycat of.
So KB felt like you sounded like Slap, Chef, you sounded like Makito.
Yeah.
So he didn't want
Yeah.
those artists.
Yeah. So I was like,
No wonder he says one of his regrets is not signing Sheffy. I think he said that before in one of his diaries. Yeah. I think
but
he's
Kyle,
mentioned
you
it
can't
before.
just be the decision maker in everything. You also have to listen to what is around you. You understand? So I thought we recorded a song when KB was not there. We recorded the song.
Oh, even Sheffy said it. He's like, KB would have signed me. I was right there. I think he mentioned that also.
Yeah. So we recorded a song with Shefi. He didn't put it out. And I said, okay, it's going to be in Young Energy. So it became part of us as well. Because all we did was make music 428 and care me. Yeah. Because now there was me, TAP, and Shefi. KB refused to sign Jcash because Jcash was coming from the same hood with KB. So I don't know, he was being approached for a long time, but then he wasn't signing him for a long time. Jcash called me for a feature in Kombok at Tuxedo Studio. Yeah. So went there after we recorded the song. I think you were in Mkali, you know, because he had the bass, but he also sounded like someone. You understand? So after Namuza KB, he said, I know this boy. I'm an Vuta Kuhud. Wanna band. Oh, he said, I'm group here, Young Energy Movement. So we put on these people. We put on Nana as well. You remember Nana?
Nana?
We put Nana on. We put Juvik. Juvik also anamukana KM. We put him, Young Energy Movement. The only person we needed was a producer because at that time, KB used to work for QFM. So we thought it would be great since Safu now we sang at Pangirena music because he doesn't like a bunch of these guys. So we needed a producer. This is how come I had the conversation with Tishon because he also wanted me to put him on KM. So I had the conversation with Tishon and then I told him to say, okay, we're going to put you in a group called Young Energy Movement and we want you to be making music for us. You get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So now I told KB to say, me, I found a producer for our team, not for KAMI, no, for Young Energy Movement. Iwokaenda kunchito is just space eti masala nayo. Ndiye zambo pangira music na uyu muntu. Until everyone improved and we started making good songs. Ndiye tinachosera na ija show me your swag.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And now he was put on Bamchinjago sound because he was straight up dancehall artist. Bamchinja kwa imbako that song with B1.
Yeah.
And yeah. That's how the journey started.
Yeah, because the teacher was also like Yeah, because he's done so rapish. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how come he met and a T-Boy. They started recording, whatever they were recording, you know, Johnny Amboenda. But then, all of a sudden, I discovered that me had the dream to say, okay, since Kuli XYZ is a nice at Kapanga young energy, I think the hip-hop industry is going to go far because the competition is going to be matimu ya Zapaka, Diamond Chain, Mafela, Anatomy and what. So I thought if we make this matimu ya Zapaka, one, hip-hop industry will move forward.
Yeah.
3, at least if you don't have a hit song, your friend is going to have a hit song. Who is going to put you on? Much to understand. So that was my dream, to have a teamwork like they are doing now with Dismo, like they are doing now in Shefi and them. You know, that's the team that I wanted. It was my dream team. You understand? But then, all of a sudden, I started hearing at Aba, Banaba Saina, Balimukea, Mimanja, Pa, Balimchan, but I wasn't aware about this.
Yeah.
And KB is like my big brother. So no one I chat, maybe it's for the better good, both for me and the industry. So I looked it up like, yeah.
So what really went wrong between you and KB? Oh, at what point would you say, okay, here, this when you said feeling like, okay, our relationship is not as good as it was before?
Well, I just felt like whenever would make good music, because by the way, a lot of artists left KME at that particular time. Tishon left to open his, of which I blamed KB because he put on these people to KME minus my consent, and I couldn't also tell him to set pressure. I said, so I feel like he didn't have enough knowledge about each and every artist that was signed, because me, I was hanging out with them. Like, they were my friends. I used to hang out with them every day, so I knew a lot of things about them. But then Tishon left. Jeka stopped making music with KME. I think Depena Ndopanga Ijana Kekero. Brisk couldn't stay when I'm not there. Nana went to XYZ. So a lot of people left. I think I was the only artist Anabo Asala check KME, you know. And
so they found you and they left you.
Yeah. And for me, it was loyalty. You understand? When I look at where we come from, the things that is done for me, and I feel like it was loyalty. You understand? So
but
whenever we make these songs, there's a blower, but then you tell him, so just tell you, zavuta, and then, zavuta. Like, you know, it's like, this person, me, I'm a hip hop artist and I'm on peak right now. Azavuta bunch. Like, I just felt like he didn't really care about what I really wanted to achieve. And whenever we make these songs, as long as we have a song playing from the label, he would start signing other people, working on their projects. Akucha sideline until those people end and again abwera. Where have you been? Futi, Charira studio bring other people, you know. So I felt like,
so you'd come back to you to like resuscitate his brand. And his name.
That's what I thought. So I think it was time I started also thinking about myself, because I'm not going to be here forever and doing this with a person who doesn't really care about my well-being.
Yeah.
You understand?
So could that be also a reason why you also decided to take a break? You felt like, I mean, you've been loyal to KB, and if you have to leave...
Frustration. I was frustrated for a long time also. You know, I was frustrated because the music that we're making, with the knowledge that he has, I think would have gone big and far. You understand? And sometimes you'd pull moves that you are not even supposed to pull because injala ipaya. people wakuchetekela, you're playing on radio, on TV, but you're in Anjala. So sometimes you pull moves that you're not even supposed to pull. When you even have a big brother who can help you just, you know.
What, accept shows for less?
Things like that, even things like that, you understand? Because we're in Anjala and you know that someone can just help you to maintain a brand. You get? So I got just frustrated and stopped putting out music at some point, and yeah. And even when he went to Nexus, it was supposed to be a conversation or a meeting to say, oh guys, I found a better offer, and this is what I plan to do. Nikaenda Nexus, whatever music we're going to put out, because it's not like we're work artists that Nexus couldn't sign us, or we couldn't pay from what everyone else was getting paid from. You understand? There was Tishon, there was me, there was Neo, there was other people, there was J-Cash, you know, Judy also. Judy went to KMP, you know. So there was a bunch of us, and we just needed to sit in a meeting and say, this is my plan. But he just left because he thought it was better for himself. You understand? He never thought of who am I leaving behind. He just thought of himself.
So what's your relationship like with the guys from Young Energy? Let's start with Tishon. Tishon?
I hung out with him. Like, we talk. He even produced one song for me for my Voices album. J-Cash also jumped on the Voices album. But J-Cash will link up time to time. Like, all the time we'll talk. Hey,
he's a down-to-earth guy.
Yeah. And I feel like he also understands where this whole thing started from.
Yeah.
People that believed. And I also feel like Tishon also understands. Yeah. Juvik is my boy. He comes even without calling. Hey, ni panja.
Yeah, no, you guys.
So I've relationships with everyone.
Brisky, what's your relationship like with Brisky?
I haven't linked up with Brisky in a long time because I understand that, you know, as mkazi, as a like a boyfriend or like a husband, as a me, I know your story with this guy, so I don't want you to be, you know, in that circle with him. So for her, I understand, and I haven't seen her in a long time.
Yeah. There's a very famous story that goes around in circles about you and Brisky, and how, I don't know who from your crew slept with the girl you're with. Was it Johnny C? What was he saying? I think it was Johnny C. How true is that story?
I think you should ask the person that told you.
Well, I mean, that would be gossiping and romance. Yeah.
I think you should ask the person that told you. No comments.
I mean, it's been a very, I've heard it from multiple people, actually. It was a very, and you know, I think by the time that was happening, I don't think social media was as big.
No,
so
it
would
wasn't.
just be one of those things where people just talking.
There was a situation, but then I don't want to go into that because now people are married.
Oh, yeah.
And what, But there was a situation.
So, a few more things that I'd like to find out from you also. Well, time you're at your peak, you've explained something that I think we could touch on a little bit, where you had to do things because you had to feed yourself, your family.
Yeah.
What would you also say you've learned as far as finances are concerned? Because now people say there's money in the industry ever since KMP came on board. Chan. You even spoke about it in one of your songs where Penda Mafiga and all of that. Because others would look at your career and where you're coming from and say, you fought to make money while you're at your peak. What's that about?
So what I made, you can't compare what I made to the PK Shala era. They had the music, they had their moment, but there was no money in the industry. We had our own era where we made the music and we made the money more than them. And now that there's money in the industry, of course I'm not going to be on peak forever. Like 10 years, we check a peak. It's impossible.
Yeah.
All we can do is maintain, because we've made the catalog, plenty of music that even when you are called for a show, it's not going to be a boring show. So all we do now is try to maintain infusing the new wave that is coming up so we can just keep up and continue making this music. But then people who came after us came when the industry has a lot of money. You understand? So.
And speaking of the newer guys, is it that you turn down features or what? Because I've been noticing the trend on who people feature and so on. It's like they select, oh, we're going to feature a Slap, a Mark, they'll bring back, even Raf, for example, Raf is on Dismo's album. You'd expect an album like that. It's gonna, even Tommy D is on Dismo's album.
Yeah.
But you won't find an Alpha Romeo on an album like that.
And I'm not going to force someone to jump on my song or me to jump on their song. You get it? So if they have a product that they feel I should jump on, they would call me. If I want to refuse, I would refuse. If I want to accept, I would accept. So.
But do you think that the new generation of artists has lost respect for you?
No. And I don't hang out with these, I'm not in communication with a lot of these new generation artists, like you are calling them. I'm not very much in contact with them. And I feel like when you just have a #1 song or a song that is on the peak, I think everyone would come on board.
Do you think you're able to still do that? Do you think you're able to give?
Yeah, music is my talent. Music is my talent. I've done it countless times. I've gone quiet and come back with a banger on several occasions. So I can still do it.
Do you think 2024 will be the year you do that again?
So I'm a kind of artist who doesn't put out a lot of music back to back. But this year I plan on putting a lot of music because that's been a cry from my fans. They want me to put out a lot of music, and that's what I plan to do.
I almost forgot about something before we conclude this interview. I know we've slightly gone beyond time. We spoke about No Intro, we spoke about, obviously, K-Army, Young Energy Movement. But you also had a thing with New Age XYZ. What was that about as well?
So the plan was, I was getting signed to XYZ, right? Then there was the Kalandanya thing that was going on at that particular time. But it started going on when I had already started recording my album under XYZ. You get it? Yeah. So whatever conflicts that H and Slap or whoever had kind of affected what we started. So then the guys went to KMP. Other guys decided to make their own team, New Age. So since I couldn't go with New Age, never fan, New Age, and I couldn't go to KMP, so there was nothing left for me to be doing there. So we have made an agreement with Age to say, let me finish what I already started, then I hit my run.
But Kamstar still was part of the New Age exercise, from what I remember.
I don't know his story and his agreement. Maybe he signed for New Age, but for me, I wasn't signed for New Age. I was signed for XYZ, but after that conflict, there was nothing left for me to be doing there because these guys went to KMP and these guys decided to make their own. So I was just wrapping up my project and hit the road. Yeah.
Okay, pretty interesting there. So this year we should expect more music from Alpha Romeo.
More music this year and less complaints. But yeah, we speak for the hood, so zakamba maningi pali hood, so
yeah,
less complaints.
That's the thing with TV. We've got limited time. You know, if this was just like some online show, would have gone on and on because I still have more questions for Alpha Romeo. But that's a good thing because when he drops another project, we'll call him and save those other questions for then. But thanks a lot for coming through.
Chinchako.
One time, it wasn't easy getting Alpha Romeo to come through. He knows. I've been asking him about this for a while.
Because I knew what you wanted to ask me. Now I had to do it so that we put this to rest.
Thank you. Anyway, this is where I wrap up the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. A lot to expect on next week's show, and you can take a look.